Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to VidaneTV. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth alongside me, easy enough for me to say, as always on Thursday nights, Aaron, Aaron Creed. Aaron, how are we feeling tonight, brother?
Oh, we're doing okay. We're having a good time here. I'm actually in the mobile office out in nice and warm and sunny. Well, it's not sunny anymore because it's evening. Tucson, Arizona. So, having a good time here.
So it's
But we're going
all
to be racing in Bristol, Tennessee tonight, and that's always a fun one.
Yeah, going to be a banger here tonight. We were just at Bristol Motor Speedway here this past weekend for the Jim Hallahan 333, the TCM event that we have. I believe it was the sixth running here on VidaneTV, so that was pretty cool. And no stranger to the guy on the pole in that race. Ryan Messer got himself a podium. He's going to start on the pole here tonight. And if our stat man, Ryan Salvatore, is correct, it's going to be career pole number 10, which ranks him third most in NAP Series history. Third race in a row that he's been on the pole, and he's the third race in a row that I've gotten that bonus point for net bets. So congratulations and thank you to Ryan Messer. Jason Ricker going to start on his outside.
Yeah, I believe he's going for a number in a row in the win column as well. But let's focus on the rest of the starting lineup, too. Ryan Libby. And look at this, Reggie Parent, Regan Parent back in the field, starting in fourth. I think this is only his second time out this year.
John Peters missing a couple of races this season as well. The 09 truck going to start in the top five, rolling off P5. New colors for Jeffrey Bradway, as it appears. Celsius Essential Energy number 13, going to roll off P6.
Going back to row number 4, there's Steve Daddio. He was one to beat here in these recent weeks, and he's climbing up the standings. And there's Corey Casgrande looking for a good run on the short tracks. He's always strong on these small ones.
Kenny Keevy going to roll off P9 and rounding out the top 10. A surprising good start to the season for the number 14 Tonka truck. That's going to be Zane Farrell in the number 14.
Yeah, and last week was his first time all year outside of the top 10. There's Dale Glessner, and also our sponsor driver for the week, Adam Henry, starting in 12th for this Griffs Tire Supply 125.
Rolling on through, there's Evan Boyer in the 56 car. Right outside of him, going to be Johnny Miller in that Screaming Eagle number 6, P14.
We continue on. There's our Sal getting us all these great stats starting in 15th. And there's Dan Winter, has been strong this year. Watch out for him. He's starting 16th. So we continue along. Brent Roy starting pretty deep in the pack as we're going one lap, green in a lap.
Great
Hey,
paint
look
scheme
who's
there
out
for-
inside row 10.
Just going to say, yeah, Brandon Newhouse with the colors on that truck as the lights are off. Pace cars already down and away. There's a whole bunch of trucks here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we are racing here for the Griffs Tire Supply 125 at the Virtual Motor Speedway, because, baby, it is Neps night in America. Look at the lead Ryan Messer's already got as they head into 3 and 4.
Yeah, Messer is really going to be the one to beat here, although he hasn't won in the NAP League at Bristol. Evan Boyer is one of the past winners. And also Ryan Lutz was a winner when he was subbing for Regan Parent. Regan himself is in the truck this week. It's the first visit for the trucks to Bristol, so that's going to be a little fun. We got a lot of fun going on right now as we're under yellow already.
That quick caution comes out. A couple of drivers that are off the pace here in the 29 truck field. Didn't even get all the way through the starting lineup, but we can get through it there. We still didn't get the LeBlanc paint scheme scored away. Ryan Salvatore sent me the solution for that. We are going to get on that and get that taken care of. But there's the gentleman, Jeffrey Brown. And just a little bit too up close and personal with that apron. Got him a little bit squirrely there and sent him on around. Could have been a whole lot worse for the 27 truck, but he's going to have to restart P29 on the field.
Yeah, and that's a rare mistake for Jeff Brown right there. Is we know he's one of the gentleman racers and always kind of out there minding his own business for the most part, but getting himself in a little bit of trouble there early on. But he'll have to regroup here as he files behind Scott McDonald there. There's Jason Ricker running in the second spot so far, and he's going to be one of those drivers to watch, one of the storylines. He's the only driver to complete all 778 laps this season. The last man standing, as our friend Arsal has called him. So he'll be one to continue to watch. Very consistent driver. Still looking for, I believe, one of the first wins. I think he picked up my memory's killing me here, and as I know I think he's won at least a duel or something like that in the past. But Jason Ricker does have a podium this year, and looking to get another one here before it's over.
We even have a tool for that. I just don't have enough monitors to run it. Ryan Salvatore, great little information spreadsheet we've got on all these drivers. Still working on converting it into graphics here for VidaneTV, but just running out of desk space. All the buttons and the stuff that we've got to push here to bring all the action to you live here. Quick caution, 5 laps into this one. Gonna get the restart with 120 laps to go. There you see Ryan Messer, rather, going to elect to take the bottom side. Jason Ricker up on the high side. Ryan Libby, Reginald Parent. He's got 27 different first names. We'll pick one of them, match them all together. Green flag flies once again here at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. Look at the restart once again. Ryan Messer able to get in that one truck.
Yeah, but Ricker's pretty much staying within a truck length of him, with Regan Parent behind him, and Ricker's zooming in a little bit. And I just looked it up so you don't have to on one of my many tabs in my mobile office for tonight. But Jason Ricker, actually, his best finish is second 6 times. So that's definitely, he's trying to get that, I guess you could sort of call it a monkey off his back, and get that first victory. He's kind of like what I remember as a kid was Sterling Marlin in the NASCAR Cup Series. Was always the guy that finished second forever, and then he finally took home the Daytona 500. And there you see Ricker registering the fastest lap of the race so far, 15.181. He is really hooked up here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's not very often we were able to see a couple of drivers there. You can see racking off another quick time, 137, right at the back bumper of Ryan Messer. You can see he's all over the back bumper of the MC Hammer #1 truck, but the caution flag going to fly once again here at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's see if we can take a peek at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Tell me the button's going to work on the first try. It didn't. Bummer. We'll figure it out one of these days. Looks like the 04 car of Bobby Schiff
on the apron. Yeah.
I think he was just letting Bobby go by so we could wave to him. That might have been it. Let's see if we could fast forward through there. Everything looked okay with the ship machine. I don't see anybody else pointed in the wrong direction except for potentially.
Yep, I see some smoke trailing.
Corey Casagrande's down pit road. He was up in the top 10, top 15. You can see he was side by side, way up the high side. Ooh, 13 of Bradway gets a little bit loose. They save it. They go 3 wide. Oh, man, the 7CT just gets turned up into the outside wall. That's a tough spot to be. That Chalu Performance truck was pretty quick here at Bristol.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Corey, and I know he always looks forward to these short track races. And that's going to kind of set him back as well. I don't know. It might set him back even more as he still sits on pit road. He might have lost a lap there. So Austin Belke, another driver coming down. Jeffrey Bradway also had some issues there, as Jeffrey Brown taking a chance to come down pit road as well in the 27 truck. So a lot of drivers down pit road early. The strategy for tonight, now we said 125 laps. They do get 2 extra sets of tires. The max you can go is 115 green flag laps. So if we end up with some extended yellow flags like this throughout the balance of this race, I don't know. Someone could possibly stretch it. But again, we talk about this almost every time. I don't know if you want to be on there on your original tires out there making laps when it comes down to the end. So if we continue to get a lot of yellows, I think we'll see several taking advantage of coming down pit road when needed.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of different strategies here. We've had a lot of short track racing over the past couple of weeks on VidaneTV. And, man, we have seen some long green flag runs. We've seen some caution-riddled races and everything kind of peppered in between. So it's really tough for these drivers to kind of figure out what's going on and where they have to go into, especially when you're talking about points battle that they have to keep an eye on. Ryan Messer came into tonight with a 3-point lead over Kenny Kibbe, Steve Daddio, Evan Bollier, Jeff Bradway in the top 5 in points. And they're all within the top 5, top 10 in this race right now. So really trying to do everything that you can to have yourself a good top 5 run, but trying to do everything in your power to make sure that maybe the other guys you're racing for points don't quite have as good of a restart that Ryan Messer just had right there on that bottom side in that one truck. He's clear by about 7 truck lengths as they're going to come out of 2.
Yeah, Ryan Messer definitely has Momentum on his side. If there's anything else you can say about that, just has been dominant here as of late. Has 4 victories this season, and I believe the last 3, if I remember incorrectly. And he has just been on a roll. 7 top 5s and 7 top 10s, and yeah, he's going to be hard to beat. These guys are staying with him, though. Jason Ricker, Regan Parent, Ryan Libby. Good to see Libby having a top 5 run. I don't like to say that, though, because it seems like whenever we talk about him having a good run, something goes awry.
Usually how that goes, the old commentary curse as that happens. But we talk about Ryan Messer being the Iron Man here on VidaneTV just about every time we see him because, well, he is. He's on almost all of our leagues that we've run here on iRacing, and he's won in just about all of them as well. So he's had himself a whole bunch of wins. He's got a bunch of poles as well. We made mention career pole number 10 in the NEP series alone here on Thursday nights. Just got that big podium this past Sunday here at Bristol for the Hallahan 333 event for Tim's Corner Motorsports, and just had a solid running this past Tuesday night at Hickory under the Tim's Corner Motorsports banner as well in the super late model. Ryan Messer came home with the W there as well. Caution flag flies once again.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it was Scott McDonald or Austin Belkey there. Oh, it looks like they might have been avoiding the 48 of Brian Ship right here, who's still getting it righted, and I don't know if that's going to dock him a lap right there. So Ship kind of still sitting there. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, he's had that same paint scheme, I think, for 2 or 3 seasons now, and I don't think I've ever really said how much I love those chrome yellow wheels that match that Hendrick Motorsports yellow. Being a Jeff Gordon fan myself, not so much a Jimmy Johnson fan, but there you saw Bradway was kind of pointed in the wrong direction, up in the racing groove. Got tagged a couple more times, so it's a good thing it's a simulation. We'll take a look at what happened here. There's Burkholder in the 29. You see the 13 just kind of lost the back end of the truck, got wobbled on around, had it saved. Bam, there's Ship, and bam, there's Brown in the 27. Jeffrey Brown cannot catch a break. He's completed all the laps, all the races. Cannot catch a break in that 27 truck. You can see big smoke coming out of now Brown and Bradway.
Yeah, this has to be his hard luck race, maybe of his entire NEP career, potentially. Out of all the races he's run, there you saw the great Greg Biffle tribute on the deck lid of Bradway's truck. Unfortunately, he's not having a good night either. One thing I'll add about Brian Ship, by the way, if you go to Jennerstown Speedway and watch him race late models, he's got those same yellow wheels going on. So you can go see something that pretty in real life, Paul.
And that's what it's all about here at VidaneTV. We say it all the time. It almost feels like a broken record. We like to bridge the gap between real racing and sim racing. And you and I were talking briefly before we came on air. You're out in Arizona right now getting soaking in some of the heat, some of the warmth out there. It is brutally cold here in southern New England, and it's supposed to get colder this weekend. So I am looking forward to bridging that gap down to Auburndale and down to Alltech Speedway here in a couple of weeks, as I'll be working with the Dirt Track Digest folks at Alltech Speedway. That's going to be a whole lot of fun there in Lake City, Florida. Hanging out with Hogue for a little bit, probably catch the Super Bowl, go Bills, and then we're going to head on over to Auburndale Speedway for 2 or 3 weeks, as we got a lot of stuff going on with NX, a little figure 8 racing there as well. So if you're down in the area, if you want to check out what we kind of do in the real racing world, you definitely check out all the social media stuff. I've been putting a lot more up on the TikTok and the YouTube, just kind of showing a little behind the scenes action, some of the short track racing streaming and television stuff that we do out on the road. And looking forward to hanging out with the boys, and looking forward to being a whole lot warmer than we are here in Connecticut.
Well, I'll be bridging the gap as well this weekend, but we'll talk about that later. We're going back to green, and it's another fine restart by Ryan Messer. But look at Regan Parent getting inside of Jason Ricker, going to try to make a pass for second. Ryan Libby also behind him in the number 46. Ricker's going to hold him off barely at the moment. As you see the rear of Ricker's truck with GNG's gift on the back of it, as well as on John Peters' truck. They just awarded that final GNG's gift winner this past weekend. That's why Peters was absent last Thursday. You can go to their page and find out how those results. They got a great video that was produced and everything. And Peters is worked his way into the top 5. Got some issues there. I think that was Joey Dwyron that went into the wall. And he's able to continue, so we're going to continue under green. I was about to remark about Zane Farrell in the 14 using the high side to his advantage. He's moving up through the field, currently being scored in the 6th spot.
And you can really tell a lot of these drivers have a lot of laps here in the short track sim, in iRacing, and the short tracks pretty much that they offer all the way throughout the service. But this is really one of those momentum racetracks, and I didn't know what that meant until I watched watched Paul Verricchio in the 39 late model at Stafford this year. He had an interview, and somebody asked him, "How are you so good here at Stafford Motor Speedway?" He's like, "Oh, I'm not racing those other guys out on the track. I'm racing the racetrack." That's what these guys are doing here, and you can see the top 3. They're in a groove right now. They're really in a momentum. We'll see if we can ride on board with that 17 truck just to kind of get a feel as what these drivers are kind of putting up each and every single lap. They know it's a long lap here, but they're racking these lap times off in about 15 seconds. And that's very, very quick. So you can see there's a lot of different things that these drivers are having to deal with each and every lap, making those split decisions. And oh, by the way, there's 28 other trucks out there that they've got to worry about. That time you saw a little bit of a slide up there for Ricker in the 9. He held down to the bottom side. Parent looked on the high side, nothing quite there, tucked into the tire tracks. He's now going to shoot down low, flip-flop it from the last time by. All that going at least 120, 140 miles an hour getting down these straightaways.
Yeah, that's interesting. That one thing to note, with Bristol too, we're talking about how fast they go around this track, and I keep looking at this onboard with recomparing here, and that mark that's on that left side, that's kind of interesting. They're like a little ding on the windshield. But anyway, one thing about Bristol,
that was on my monitor.
I was thinking the same thing at first, but no, it's moving along with the shot. But he's able to get under Jason Ricker now for second. Once again, they flip-flop it again. But Bristol, the thing is, they're going to come, if we get a long green flag run here, they're going to come along upon slower traffic. If there's a mishap in front of you here at Bristol, you got to make the right decision very, very quickly. And sometimes, with how banked these corners are, coming off the corner, it's almost like you're coming in blindly. So that's one of those things where, of course, in real life you're counting on the spotters, but we don't really have a whole lot of that going on in the iRacing world, or at least in our league, in the NEP league. So, it's one of those things where these guys, it's every man for themselves, just trying to figure things out and figuring things out. Here comes John Peters in the 09. He is stalking that number 9 of Jason Ricker.
Indeed, he is. He's moved up quietly to the 4th position in that 09 Toyota Tundra, all over the back bumper now of Jason Ricker, trying to make a little magic happen in the 09. You can see he's down on the bottom side of the racetrack, just hugging that solid yellow line, drifts up just a little bit of a wiggle for the 09, but holds on to it. Everything looking pretty solid for that 09 truck, just trying to get into that rhythm, get into that groove as they start to sort it out for second. Parent moves in to second. Peters moves into third. And they're all still chasing Ryan Messer in that one truck.
Yep, still Ryan Messer showing the way, leading every lap. He has led a total of, let's see if I got it here, 256 laps this season. Second place, Kenny Kibbe, has led 118. So that's more than double second place. So that's pretty spectacular. We talked about how Ricker's the only driver that has completed all 778 laps. Well, Ryan Messer's completed 777. So he's only missed one lap out of all this. Ranked third on laps completed. How about that? Scott McDonald has completed 776 laps. Brian Shipp has completed 774. And if I'm looking correctly, Johnny Miller is fifth with 767 completed laps. So I kind of did that just by kind of eyeing it up. So hopefully I didn't leave anyone out. But again, Ricker kind of sliding back a little bit. Ryan Libby now working his way to the inside. Zane Farrell continuing to use that high line. And Kenny Kibbe following him along the way.
Farrell having a quiet run in that 14 Tonka truck. You can see you made mention Ricker backing up a couple of spots. Kind of stuck on that high side. Libby getting down underneath in that 46 truck. There's Kibbe in the 4 right in behind him, keeping up with Libby and Kibbe always running bumper to bumper, side to side, nose to tail, as it were, here on VidaneTV. And a little bit squirrely there for the 14 truck. Up in the outside wall is Farrell, but gathers it back up. Going to tuck into the tire tracks once again of Daddio in the 99. He's having a relatively quiet day here as well. He's pretty quick on these short tracks, especially here on the high banked Bristol Motor Speedway. He's really able to kind of utilize that truck and really put the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone, now that we're getting this long green flag run, and everyone doing a pretty good job. Adam Henry really working that high side. He is our sponsor driver of the race, Griffs Tire Supply. He has a 14.3 average finish here on the short tracks in the trucks, 17.1 average finish this season. Best finish was 11th at Daytona, and his NEP bets over under finish for tonight, 14.5. Did you take any kind of bets like that tonight that you're feeling confident in?
Well, I got the pole. Thanks to Ryan Messer for that, I am pretty confident I may have the win. We'll see what the one truck does later on. As far as everything else, I did it quick because I was trying to jam and get some dinner rocking and rolling, and a lot of the questions I didn't actually read. But I do have a 9-point lead in the NetPets championship standings, so we're hoping for an easy week here at Bristol.
This is the only place where we can be involved and bet on the competition. You can't do that in real life. We know, we've heard what goes on in professional sports if you choose to do that. So
yeah, wasn't that Pete Rose's whole deal?
Oh yeah, for sure it was. So I wasn't gonna go there, but you brought it up. So, but yeah, that's one of those things that's a no can do in that. But because we're making the big bucks here doing what we do, we get to have a little fun as well.
That's exactly it. And these are the questions you don't have to answer because sim racing isn't real. But it is. It's still real to us. How about that? The 09 truck going to slide in to that second position, set his sights now on Ryan Messer. Those guys have had some battles, pardon me, on Thursday nights here before in the NEP series, as well as Tim's Corner Motorsports and a couple other series that they run on here on VidaneTV. And you can see the 09 truck a little bit quicker than the 17 apparent, starting to pull away a little bit. I think he's starting to pull into the back bumper of that one truck just a little bit.
Yeah, it's certainly possible here. So I'm interested if we get keep this long green flag run going. Are we going to see green flag pit stops, or because we have that long fuel window, is everyone just going to stick it out there with what they've got? Because if you come down pit road during the green at Bristol, you're going to lose quite a bit of track position with those 15-second laps that we were talking about. So that's one of those things where we got to keep an eye on what happens. But the field kind of getting spread out a little bit now. John Peters trying to track down Ryan Messer, and little by little he is.
69 laps to go in this one. Nice lead there for Ryan Messer. About a half of a second rather, over John Peters, and it is starting to shrink ever so slightly. Regan Parent back in third. There goes that lead. It's gonzo because the caution flag going to fly, I believe, for the third time here tonight. There you see Corey Casagrande still on pit road. Joey Dwyron was down on pit road already as well. Let's either hit the replay button, see where it sends us on track. Right to where we were. Good looking out there.
Oh, wow.
We'll see what all we can see here. It looked like McDonald might have had a piece of the action in the 44. Seems like everything looking okay there.
Yeah, I see Jared Adams there. The first time we're talking about him tonight. And that's one thing we haven't talked about is they got the bracket challenge going on right now. I believe it's Zane Farrell versus Jared Adams is that matchup, if I remember correctly. And we've got a little bit of trash talking and things like that has been going on in the Discord. But aside from that, we've got everyone coming down pit road pretty much. So a lot going on right here. We'll see what strategies play out at the moment.
Yeah, under the green flag, you would figure a lot of these drivers probably try and take two tires rather, but you can see the right sides and left sides getting jacked up. Brent Roy going to take two, as is Ryan Salvatore in the 12 truck. How about Mike Hopkins already down and away in that 78 truck? This is going to jumble up the standings by just a little bit. You've got trucks pitting on either side of pit road, and I believe they can make it from here, it's going to be close because they made it 60 laps, you figure, without coming down pit road, and there's 66, 64 laps maybe once we get going green here. So I think these guys are going to be able to make it. This is going to be interesting as timing and scoring starting to serve itself back around. Everybody did come down, and it looks like Ryan Messer is the first one off. John Peters, Reagan Parent, Ryan Libby, Kenny Kibbe, the top 5. Steve Daddio, Jason Ricker, Zane Farrell, Mike Hopkins, and Brent Roy, the top 10. Ryan Salvatore right there in 11.
Yeah, we're going to see how things reset here, and not a whole lot changed there it seems. And yeah, we got a lot going on here. There was a name that threw me off there in the scoring. I was looking at further down in the order. We have a Nick Miller in the field. That's a new name to me, Paul. Do you know anything about him? The 71.
Good looking paint scheme.
Oh yeah, that's the 1729 ink. That's Keith Lord and Spencer Davis's company that they got going on. So we have a new entrant in the NEP series that we didn't really get much information on. But good to see. Always good to see some new blood in the NEP garage area. So we'll see how Nick Miller does. He stayed out of trouble, which is the only reason we're talking about him is because I happened to see him there on the scoring all of a sudden, and it threw me off there because we have a Miller, but it's not. It's a Johnny Miller. So maybe we got 2 Eagles in the field now.
One thing we do have is the green flag flying once again. Messer, once again, great restart over the 09 truck. 09 has himself a mirror full of that RKM setup shop number 17 apparent. Front 7 or 8 cars, pretty much single file. A little side-by-side action there for 5th. As Kibbe tries to slide on in underneath Daddio. Daddio going to tuck into the tire tracks. Ricker there in behind as well. Front 10, single file.
Yeah, well,
whoa,
kind of file until Ryan Libby lost it there out of the top 5. And are we going to stay under green? No, we're going to get the yellow flag's going to come out, and he's going to be able to catch back up to the field or probably restart where he kind of blended back in there if he doesn't decide to come back down pit road. It looks like he kept it off the wall. But again, kind of like we saw with Jeffrey Brown earlier, kind of just that apron really plays some havoc here at Bristol when you get to that banking change.
You can see that truck was upset by the time he started turning. He tried to catch it once, catch it twice around. He almost goes. He wrecked about 3 times. He just didn't complete the wreck there. That's some heads-up driving by the 46 of Libby. Great driving by Johnny Miller, too. Just barely touches the corner of that 46 truck. Everybody keeps pointing in the right direction and rolling once again. That could have been a whole lot worse than it was for the 46 and the 6 and everybody else involved in that one. And that's one of those things that these drivers did just come down pit road. They got 4 tires under that last caution flag. So that could have been one of those deals where you're getting ready for the restart. You didn't quite clear your head as much as you thought you did. You're getting ready to, you've got it kind of in the back of your head how this truck's going to handle. Oh, wait a minute, I've got fresh tires. It's going to be completely different. So we don't usually see that mistake out of guys like Libby that have been doing this for a long time, but every once in a while, you'll start to see some of those mistakes pop out here and again.
Yeah, they always say like every blind squirrel finds a nut. Well, I guess every blind nut finds a squirrel too sometimes. So
that's a fact. I like that.
I just made that up off the top of my head, I think. So we did have a few drivers coming down pit road. It looked like from scoring. Evan Boyer is back down pit road in the 56. So he's another one that's really good on these short tracks. Actual past winner here at Bristol when we ran the Xfinity cars. So that's a tough one right there. Wow, Evan's going to have a long road to come back up to the front, and we'll see what happens as we continue to go along. There it is. Ryan Messer's still leading, going for 4 wins in a row. We didn't check on this, but I don't know if anyone's ever gotten 4 wins. Four consecutive wins. I don't know if everyone's ever pulled a Harry Gant. We can maybe call Ryan Messer Mr. January instead of Mr. September if he pulls this off tonight. But took over the points lead last week, and he is really just has momentum on his side. I talked about the number of laps he's got led, and 33% is the exact percentage. That's 1/3 of all the laps for those people that are a little slow on the math side. But we're doubling up, getting ready to go back to green. I think the next time by.
So what you're saying is Ryan Messer's got a 33rd and a third percent chance of winning the championship at Sacrifice because he knows that Samoa Joe isn't going to take his 25% and Kurt Angle's 25% because he's just a freak of nature and he's just going to win the championship. A little Steiner math. There's probably like 2 people out there that understand what the heck I'm talking about. Green flag flies once again.
Third. You said 33 and a third. I thought of Naked Gun, so I was thought you were going in that direction. But apparently not. Regan Parent's truck gets a little upset there on the inside, but he gathers it back up and continues ahead of Kenny Kibbe as they battle side by side for the third position. Kibbe on the outside in the number 4 truck, and he is really working well on the outside. Parent's car truck is not on the inside. Daddio now going to try to dive low for 4th.
There you see that Ford truck got right up to the back bumper of the 09, gave him just a little bit of a shot, let him know that he was there, and tried to get down to the bottom side. Didn't quite have enough room there, and you can see now trying to get over to the high side around Peters in the 09 truck. But John doing a great job holding that thing down to the yellow line. And there you see it, the 17 truck, 15.090. Quick time for the P. Where's he running? He's running P4. He's running times like that.
Yeah, very, very good times right there. So definitely watch out as he's gathered things back up. And we got a special guest in the booth for joining us now, Paul. And unfortunately, it's not in the best of circumstances. Might be your hardest luck race of your NEP career, but glad to have you see you're okay and joining us here, Jeff.
Oh, certainly not. Certainly special, but certainly not the hardest race, dumbest race I've had. But yeah, that was pretty stupid of me. But here we are. We're one of my favorite tracks is Bristol. It's the only track I've actually led a lap here. So I mean, things happen. It's a tough track. Things happen fast here. Looks like we got a good run out front though with all the 229 guys. Well, we got two of the 229 guys out at the top of the field here, and Regan Parent making a return to the series, running out third. Nice to see some names in the field that we haven't seen in a couple weeks here. Glad to see him back here.
Is there anything you know about Nick Miller in the 71 that's joined us? That is a new name to me.
So Nick actually races with Cody LeBlanc in the 07 entry, but he was I believe a track champion up at White Mountain Motorsports Park in North Woodstock, New Hampshire. Runs the Amanuensis Bank, I believe it is. Mini late models, basically mini stocks up there.
Okay, so I'm glad we brought you in to get some of that expertise. Behind them, though, they were seeing the 46 spinning around Ryan Libby, and I think he slapped the inside wall this time. Last time he kept it off the wall, but I think he did. As there you see, he's already on pit road, and that might be all she wrote for the 46 of Libby tonight, as we can take a look at the replay here. What happened, Paul?
It looks like he
actually,
lost.
Jeff, yeah,
go ahead, Jeff.
Nope, this is
Jeff,
all. I thought you were there, Paul.
Sorry.
Yeah, all good. It looks like we saw this happen about 30 laps ago. Just kind of got into the corner, got down. Everything looked good, but just lost the tail end of the race truck. And you could really tell frustrating night for the 46 because you can see completes the spin, comes down, backs into the inside wall. Damage isn't all that bad for the 46 truck, but immediately going to call for that tow truck, hit that reset button, shoot him on down to pit road. So I think Libby is going to be donezo for the evening. And got to give a shout out to that new paint scheme because I haven't missed a wreck yet, I think, with that 46 and that bright green that bright green paint scheme he's got going on this year.
Yeah, and Jeff, that was one thing I was going to actually have you add, though, is, I mean, it seems like these trucks get pretty upset, especially when on the low side there, coming out of these corners. Is that something that you kind of have to handle here on this track?
Practice wasn't so bad, but I thought the truck was relatively slow but stable in practice. But big problem here is the track is just so. The track it bites you fast, and we're also about 30 degrees down on track temperature right now racing at night than compared to where we practice in qualifying. So the track's a little bit different. If you get too low, that's pretty much the end of you right there. That's basically how I killed my night. So you can't go below the yellow line. You don't want to drop down in the flat at all. That will cost you.
Yeah, we've seen that cost a few drivers of that tonight as we continue under yellow, and we are doubling up, so we're going to go green here momentarily. Jeff, I don't know if you know, I'm in Tucson, Arizona this weekend, and here for, and Paul, we were talking about that. I'm bridging the gap between the virtual world and the real racing world. Heading to Tucson Speedway for 3 days of racing tomorrow night. There's 40 super late models, 40 pro late models, and 45 Legends cars. But there's one familiar name that is actually out here in Arizona. Doesn't race in our league, but he's a friend or foe of some of the folks in the NEP series. And that's Gabe Brown. He's running a super late model out there, or maybe even a pro late model this weekend at Tucson. Kind of caught me by surprise when I saw him on the entry list.
Yeah, Gabe's got a deal right now with I think it's Sigma Performance and the P1 Preston Peltier chassis. So he's running that car out there, not one of the usual Dale Shaw mounts that he's used to. He ran that in Snowflake, I believe. Had some decent success. So, you know, Gabe is definitely, he's a live wire out here, and we're glad to see him racing out west for us.
Indeed, we are. We're back under green as they're side by side, a couple trucks deep, as we see Brent Roy getting into the picture for the first time tonight, battling Stephen Daddio back there for about fifth. Ryan Messer continuing to lead the way. Second is Reggie Parent, and Kenny Kibbe and John Peters battling for third.
Brent has had a terrible season this year. It's just been one of those things where can't seem to finish the deal. The trucks are fast, the team is good, but something happens in the final few laps, and he's just been mired back in the points.
Yeah, no doubt right now. And as we see, good pack of trucks here, though. Stephen Daddio, he's been strong as of late, defending champion in the series. Jason Ricker's coming back after running in second spot earlier on, and is marching back through the field. Brent Roy battling there on the inside, like you mentioned. His season, he's currently 25th in points, which is very uncharacteristic of him. He's got one pole and a podium as well, but that's it. That's all he's got so far this year. He's got a second place finish at one point, and I know how relieved he was to finish second in that race, but it's been feast or famine for him. And there's another one of those that's kind of feast or famine. Mike Hopkins, he's up there having a good run though right now inside the top 10.
But it looks like we got a battle for the lead out front. We got Reagan Parent breathing down the neck of Ryan Messer like he hasn't seen in several weeks here. And we got Kenny Kibbe closing in third. Reagan might keep Ryan on his toes long enough to get Kenny back in the picture here.
And the thing about Bristol, we have clicked off laps so quickly here. Suddenly we're inside 35 laps to go. So this thing is not far from over. And now that I think the intensity is kind of increasing a little bit, it's time to go if you're going to make a move. Of course, if we get a yellow or something, we might see everyone come down for that second fresh set of tires. But if we stay green, this is what you got, and you can't lose ground on these top runners. See, Kenny Kibbe tried to go for second there. Reagan Parent keeps the second spot for the time being.
Yeah, Reagan's been pretty occupied with real racing duties this season, but he's fortunately been able to join us at least for tonight. I mean, who wants to miss Bristol? It's a great track. It's got a lot of history here, and it's one that you grew up watching all the drama here. You grew up enjoying it. You grew up wanting to be a part of this. So myself included. So fun to watch them try to work their way around. But it looks like right now Reagan's got a mirror full of Kibbe, and it's allowing Ryan Messer to get away.
Sure is for the moment, but we've seen them reel each other back in many times so far, as we are now next time by we'll have 30 laps remaining. Kenny Kibbe battling with Reagan Parent for the time being. Still Kibbe just trying to find a way by that 117, and it's not working out right now. Kibbe's really having to fight for this one. We've seen him win a few times this year, 3 to be exact, but it's been a few weeks, obviously, since Messer's been occupying that victory lane lately. But Kibbe's pretty much matched Ryan Messer's stats for the most part. I know he missed Daytona earlier in the year, so that serves as his drop, but and also why he's not in the top 5 in laps completed. But Kibbe he has 6 podiums, 7 top 5s, 7 top 10s, just like Ryan Messer does. So that's one of those things where it could potentially unless Ryan Messer keeps clicking off these wins, it could potentially come down to, who's running up front on our final race of the season at Dover later in the year.
And in Kibbe and Messer, you have two very different drivers. You've got Messer, a driver who races pro late models up in the Canadian Maritimes. You've got Kibbe, who's more of a sim racer from Michigan. Two guys who are very, very, very talented in what they do here in iRacing. But we've got looks like we got John Peters closing in on the battle for second also, and Steve Daddio not to be counted out. He's running at fifth right there.
John Peters sneaking his way in there, and he kind of reminds me a little bit. I've never really made this kind of connection before, but from watching the ASA races on TV in the '90s, he kind of reminds me of Bob Seneker a little bit. They used to call him the Sneaker, and John Peters is one of those guys. Yes, the Bluebird. But John Peters, he's always, may not be the front runner from the get-go, but and may not lead the most laps when he even won those championships, but he's there and when it counts near the end, typically. So, and once again, here he is, following in Kenny Kibbe's tracks, hoping Kibbe kind of gets by. Right now, he's kind of in a precarious spot because these two have been battling side by side, lap after lap. Which way do you go? You can't really make it 3 wide here at Bristol, or you might be asking for trouble.
No, and that's a problem. You got to kind of wait for your move to play out, or else you might just get caught up in something here. It looks like Kibbe's got the speed, but Parent's keeping him from getting out to the outside lane. He clears him here on this lap, so it looks like we've got now an opening for Peters to sneak on by, and Peters is going to do the same thing, try to fill that inside line on Kibbe.
Yeah, definitely. Lots going on right here as we close in on 20 laps to go coming up, and Peters has really turned up the wick as Regan Parent slips back, as you mentioned. Stephen Daddio moving up, and trouble for Brandon Uhouse as they get by him in the 3. Tough break for Brandon as he was back in the garage area for the first time in quite a few weeks, and it was good to see him back. Good to see a few drivers back, like we were talking about with Regan Parent as well. And right now, though, Brandon Uhouse will have to come back another week to contend for a top finish, as we got 3 past champs right here battling for those inside the top 5, and then right outside we got Zane Farrell moving back below Regan Parent. And Farrell, we talked about it earlier, was in the had a top 10 finish every week up until last week. Had a bit of a rough go of it at Iowa, but here he is doing his thing inside the top 10, just like he's been for most of this season.
Yeah, and I don't know if you got to mention it earlier, going back to John Peters, this past weekend, his family up at the Northeast Motorsports Expo in Augusta, Maine, awarded Dan McCaig Jr., a regular at Wiscasset Speedway, awarded him the GNG's gift in honor of Greg Peters, John's father that passed away back in 2021, or 2020, 2021 rather. So nice little honor for them. The final year for that program. Glad to see them keeping in touch with all these racers and trying to keep it local best as they can.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad to see it go, as I know they've done so much though to give back to some of these racers, and it's a great program that has been in place right there, and it's cool to see just all the content that they shared on social media leading into and during that presentation. So I had my eye on it when I was looking on Facebook and things like that. But Peters is pulling away now from Daddio and the rest of them, and now he is setting his sights on Ryan Messer. He's less than a second and a half behind. The question is, will there be enough time next time by? There's only 12 laps to go.
Yeah, lap traffic's been pretty easy for Messer to handle so far. It looks like he's coming up on Brent Roy next, and Brent's going to clear him pretty well, or give him plenty of clearance, the other Canadian in the field, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, Messer's been pretty much on a rail here.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be his race to lose, I have a feeling. But you never know what can happen. We've been under a long green flag run. We could see a yellow flag pop out there if someone has some trouble. We'll have to see what happens here as we continue to see Brandon Uhouse kind of riding the outside there. Probably just getting out of the way there, making some laps. He currently rides in the 20th spot. We have quite a few trucks that are behind the wall, including our sponsored racer of the week, Adam Henry, unfortunately behind the wall. Zane Farrell up to 5th now, we just noticed. And 6th is, I just had his name, but we We ride back there. This is the battle for sixth.
We
Mike
got Mike
Hopkins.
Hopkins in sixth. How about that? Good
Yeah.
for Mike.
Yeah, this is definitely his best run of the year. He currently mired back there in this. Actually, he's in 16th in the standings. Not too bad. 16th or 17th, it looks like. But only 2 top 10 finishes this year, and a best finish of 8th. So he's on track to beat that. And unfortunately, as I say that, something happened, and now Paul gets to use his graphic.
Indeed, I did. I looked away for a brief second because I was wondering where
too.
Brent Broy was. He's a couple of laps down in that 26 truck. And then I looked up and,
Oh.
yeah, that's, we'll back it up again. That's one of those, you got to take multiple looks at it.
I have a feeling we'll be watching Discord here as we go on here through the evening.
We've got quite a bit of frustration. We got quite a bit of frustration on the radios between those drivers.
Luckily, everyone was able to avoid Mike Hopkins, but he's going to have to restart now at the tail end of the lead lap. So, he's coming down pit road, and it looks like something happened to Johnny Miller there in pit road. I don't know what's going on. A lot of chaos going on right now as we see a ton of drivers came down pit road. Did anyone stay out? I'm kind of surprised that we're seeing all these pit stops inside 10 laps to go. Messer is one of them to stay out, and that's kind of probably one of those sitting duck kind of instances.
It is, but you have to wonder who's left out there on tires. Let's see. We've got we got Messer, we got Peters, we got Daddio, we got Kibbe. Looks like I'll have to double check that. Honestly, I was kind of watching the the little pit skirmish we had there, but this definitely throws a wrench into the running order here.
Yeah, it looks like we've got Bobby Ship running in second now, if scoring is correct.
Yeah, we got Bobby Ship grid in second, Peters in third, Kenny Kibbe fourth. But the question is, did Bobby Ship come into pit?
So looking at timing and scoring, Messer is still out on those top 99 lap old tires. Or 39 lap tires. Bobby Ship came down 17 laps ago for 4 tires. Everybody in behind John Peters came down this time by and took 4 tires. So this could be interesting for the 04 truck.
Could be interesting for the 1 truck, too. I don't know what's going to happen here. If Ryan can hold everyone off, or if chaos is going to ensue, or they're going to freight train right by him, I have no idea. It's going to be interesting once we go back to green right this coming time by. Especially with the front row. Actually, next time by as they're crossing the line now. But actually, no, that's a different. I thought that was the flag stand for a second. It kind of looks like one. But yeah, both drivers on the front row on old tires. Is someone going to spin them? We're going to see here.
I would say the ones in the catbird seat, and here we go.
Yeah, Messer gets a pretty smooth restart here, but John Peters going to accelerate into second spot right away, and Bobby Ship going to get turned, but he's going to keep it straight. So I think, we got someone against the inside wall now. I think that was Nick Miller.
And Peters applying a lot of pressure to Messer, keeping it clean, but we've got Zane Farrell sneaking up into third.
Yeah, and I thought we were at 2 laps to go already, and Messer's going to lose the lead now. John Peters to the front. Here comes Zane Farrell.
Winless John Peters, and we got Farrell in second. Farrell in second.
White flag is out. Messer's probably going to lose a podium spot here. He's trying to hold on to it, but it is not working on those old tires. And John Peters coming through in the clutch here in the number 09 for his first victory of the 2025-2026 season. A big win by John Peters, who is way down there in the stand. Actually, he's in the top 10 in points, but his first win of the year, he's going to be celebrating, I'm sure.
A tough break for Messer, slides to 5th at the finish there.
Yes, still a good points day, winning the pole, leading the most laps. I think he's going to stay up top in the points. It's going to be close between him and Kibbe. With Kibbe finishing in third now, I think they're going to be probably about even. But we're going to get with our top 3 finishers here momentarily. How about the top 10? Jared Adams coming home in 8th. it's not good enough in this bracket matchup to defeat Zane Farrell, unfortunately, who finishes second.
But a shout out to Jared. That's a hard fought 8th place finish for a
Yeah,
guy who's been
sure.
a long time supporter of the series with not a lot of results to show for it. So good credit to Jared Adams on a solid 8th place finish.
For sure.
And as we
Paul,
take
we're
a,
going to keep.
taking a
Go
peek
ahead,
at
Paul.
that top 10, should he peak Ryan Salvatore in the 12 truck, sneaking his way into the top 10? No familiar or someone familiar with that top 10. Kenny Kibbe going to come home in the 3rd position. A little bit squirrely towards the end of that race. What'd you see through the windshield?
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of chaos there, typical Bristol. A bunch of us took tires there on the last caution, and the 2 guys up front didn't. So we knew they were setting ducks, but all came down to which line kind of went better. And when I saw Bobby Ship in front of me there, I knew it was going to be kind of chaos. So I know things got tight between me and him off of turn 2. So I apologize to him for whatever happened there. But yeah, we just had to get through the traffic first, but we didn't do that. But we did. We got a 3rd place, which is fine. And I didn't qualify too well tonight, so I was just on an uphill battle from the beginning. And I don't know if we gained any points on Messer because he obviously led laps today, and I didn't. But didn't lose a whole lot to him this week with how the race ended, so that's okay. And yeah, we'll take a 3rd place any day here.
Tight championship points battle getting into the latter half of the season. Good run here tonight with the podium. Anybody else out there watching?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I want to shout out to my teammates at Western PA iRacing. We're doing the 24 Hours of Daytona starting tomorrow evening. So it's going to be myself, Matt Shinosky, Tim Shinosky, Ben Wolfson, and JR Shepard. We're running the LMP2 car again this year, so that's always a blast, and we typically run pretty well, so looking forward to that. All my teammates at Forward Weaponry for racing together every week. Everybody at NEP in general for coming together every week. Had a really large field of trucks tonight, so that's cool to see. And my friends and family like to watch these races as well.
That's what it's all about here. Another solid podium in the NEP series. Going to slide it on over to our 2nd place finisher. I believe, Aaron, you've caught up with Mr. Zane Farrell. What's he doing there?
Zane, how about that coming through in the clutch there? We've seen it quite a few times this year. Not necessarily contending for the lead there early on, but there when it counts near the end. I know you had a little bit of a blip last week at Iowa, but I'm sure you're glad to be back on the podium here at Bristol.
Yeah, it was a very good race tonight. Last week we were good. We were good last week, but just got caught up in somebody else's mess. But tonight we just kind of kept our nose clean, ran up front all night, and stayed away from the shit there. So yeah, it was a good night. It was a fun night.
Yeah, it was a bit chaotic there down the stretch. Talk about a little bit. I'm sure we'll talk to John Peters about it too. But the pit strategy there, under 10 laps to go. Once you saw Ryan Messer stay out, is that pretty much you're just going to do the opposite as him?
Well, I saw John go in, and I saw Kenny dip in too. So I figured, you know what, screw it. Whatever happens, happens. We'll take tires, and maybe they'll get a bad pit stop and put us in good position. But no, it was good little 3-4 lap shootout there at the end. But the truck was really good on newer tires. A lot of people were struggling, but I felt pretty confident on new tires, and I didn't think I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get around John unless it was probably if we got a 10 lap run sprint or whatever there. I could have challenged him, but I doubt I would have got around him. But yeah, he checked out once he got around Messer and Bobby Ship without no tires there. So I tried to follow suit and try to not just blow the corners. But yeah, team engineer Corey Casagrande, he made a good call there on pit strategy.
All right, yeah, definitely a good finish for you. And talk about who gets you to and from the racetrack and who gets that Tonka truck to and from the racetrack. I see there's a sponsor on the side of that now.
Yeah, I gotta thank Tappet. That's where my wife works. They come on board here in the virtual NEP iRacing series. So big thanks to them. I know my mom and dad are watching, and I know my wife's watching too. Yeah, we're excited. Good finish tonight. It's been a good while. Good season so far. We've been pretty consistent. Haven't really had the podiums or the top 5 finishes, but we've been top 10. Threatened to be on the podium every week, which happy about. Got to give a shout out to my team tomorrow. We're gonna go be competing in the 24 hours. Me, Corey Casagrande, and Ryan Salvatore and Steve Daddio are gonna pilot a LMP2 car in the race tomorrow, and we're gonna be a show. We're gonna have a bitchin' time tomorrow, so I'm excited.
All right. Well, if anyone has Friday evening free, definitely, or a Friday, well, any of those 24 hours, right? Free to tune in and see how things are going. So, congrats on the second place finish. And Paul or Jeff, which one of you's
Thanks,
with our?
Aaron.
Looks like Jeff's already first in line for the victory lane interview. He's caught up with the winner, John Peters.
Well, John, we talked last weekend, and obviously, you had a special reason to miss last week's race. We'll bring that up a little bit, but you've been a really weird season where we have not seen the 09 in Victory Lane. How's it feel to finally get the monkey off your back, get that 09 truck back to Victory Lane?
Feels great. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Paul. Hey, Aaron. I haven't talked to you guys at all this year, so that's not been very fun. But it's just been one of those years where I've crashed half the weeks. I had a computer crash and had to miss a couple weeks, and now all of a sudden you look up and it's almost February, and here we are, first time talking to you. So it's just been that kind of season, but I've still had fun every week, getting to spend some time with my friends on a Thursday night. You can't beat that. And this is obviously really fun to finally have a race go our way and be able to come out on top. So it was a fun race tonight, fun track. It was really enjoyable from the seat to manage tires and work that through a run and see different strategies of guys pushing hard and coming back later versus saving and charging late in the run, which I was able to do a little bit there. So it was fun. I was trying to chase down Messer at the end. I was going to run out of time, and he was going to win this race. So shout out to him. That would have been 4 in a row, and he certainly deserved the win tonight. But just saw my chance to capitalize there when we had a caution come out. I honestly noticed at the very last second the pit road was open. Figured I would try to win the race. I don't think it was going to happen from second, so happened to be the winning move, and it worked out.
So there's no chance you weren't coming in for tires then at that point.
There's definitely a chance. I've messed up strategy so many times at the end of races, and when you're in Ryan's position, you're almost in the worst position because guys behind you are just going to do what you don't. And I've thrown away top 3s and 5s by coming down pit road late, but it did almost work for me at North Wilkesboro. So I saw some value in the speed advantage with tires, and even if a couple guys stayed out behind me, I felt like it would still be worth it. So gave it a shot and worked out.
I did give you a little bit of a shout out on the broadcast earlier, but obviously last week's race you missed on while you were in the air on your way to Maine to celebrate the final awarding of GNG's gift. Just wanted to give you a chance to talk about that 5-year program and what that's meant to area racers.
Yeah, I always appreciate you guys on Vidane giving me a chance to talk about it too. We've awarded 5 winners now of GNG's gift. We named Dan McKeag the 5th this past weekend in Augusta, Maine, and that rounds out our program of GNG's gift, a 5-year run. We gave back over $30,000 to the New England racing community. We're really proud of that. Hopefully we've helped racers financially, also helped them learn how to go solicit sponsorship for their race teams and given them some feedback to make them more prepared for that in the future. And that's all been to extend my father's legacy after he passed away. So I feel super proud of that. I'm sure he would be very proud of it. We had a lot of support from the community to be able to do that. Not everyone gets the chance to honor their loved ones that have passed like we had the chance to, and I feel very grateful for that. So shout out to my family, friends, colleagues, the whole community for welcoming that program in and supporting us through all 5 years.
And obviously, you've been flying the GNG's gift flag for the last few years, but it's not the only sponsor on that truck. Can you give a little shout out to your other backers this season?
Yeah, I would just appreciate everyone who watches. Thanks to my mom who always tunes into these. My wife and my 2 dogs let me do it every week. You also see familiar JPM partners on the truck like Libby Septic Service and Night Owl Creations, 229 Autosport. We have a great team that's going to run the 24 hours this weekend. Check out the Darth Vader Returns video on Facebook from the Eagle. We're excited for that, and we have a lot of fun doing this every Thursday. So it's just a fun way to spend the winter, and glad we could finally talk to you guys.
Absolutely. Best of luck this weekend, John. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hell of a show here at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. Another one in the books for the NEP iRacing series. Getting a little bit closer to that championship race at Dover, Delaware. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's crazy to think the points keep getting tighter as this season keeps getting going on and on. Just kind of taking a look at the old Discord chat. There's some hurt feelings, it looks like, with a couple of those incidences. One of those being Brent Roy and Mike Hopkins. So we're going to try and get that clipped up and get put up over on the social media, because I feel like the wreck that we caught might have been a receipt for something else. We call it a receipt in the wrestling world. Not sure, didn't see it. But if we can find that footage, we will get it up. On to the
Mike is. I will say. Mike is Mike races with his heart on his sleeve. He takes this seriously. He loves to joke around, but he does. Once the helmet goes on, he takes this 100% seriously, and he doesn't take lightly to contact. He doesn't take lightly to incidents, and he's. I feel for him. He had a solid run going tonight, and you get into some lap traffic like that, and especially a guy who you've had some conflict with in the past. That's tough to manage. I certainly feel for him.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, as a Mike Hopkins fan myself, I've got my pre-written kind of. It's not scripted, but it's kind of a pre-notated script for when he does get himself an NEP win here. But in any sense, we'll see what happens down the road. That's going to do it here for us. We're back Tuesday night with the Oil Boys, the late model iNational Series. Going to be a whole lot of fun. And then right back here Thursday night for NEP Night in America and parts of Canada once again next Thursday night. We'll catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.